to make that request to the president. Was happy to do that. But there was this outrage that the president was going to ask us to break the law and he was going to ask us to interfere. And that just simply didn't happen, Pete. So I was happy to meet with the president, happy to talk with him and to kind of give him an update on what's going on in the state of Michigan.
So there was an update given, but this whole conspiracy that he's trying to twist your arm to disenfranchise voters, not true.
That's simply not true, Pete. I mean, when the president calls, you take that meeting. And before, we're red or blue. I mean, this is the president here. I was happy to do it. It was a historic day and glad we took the meeting. Now,
as we mentioned in the open of this segment, the Michigan State Board of Canvassers scheduled to meet on Monday. As I understand it, there are 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats on this board. Will they vote to certify, do you think? And if it's a hung jury, if it's 2-2, what happens after that?
Right. Well, I can tell you this, Pete. I'm certainly not going to interfere in that process, and I have not had a conversation with the Board of State Canvassers, and I don't intend on having a conversation with the Board of State Canvassers. But the way that we've set it up here in the state of Michigan, our state law, is that, as you mentioned, it is 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and they certify the election for whoever won the popular vote. Now, as you mentioned, the RNC and the MRP have both made a request to simply delay that certification for 2 weeks until there can be a full and complete audit done in Wayne County. Pete, we have 71% of the precincts in Wayne County. Their absentee ballots books don't match what's on the rolls. And that's very concerning. That's why the legislature, we've been doing our own investigations. We've been doing our own reviews of these reports of fraud and the reports of irregularities. And I think these need to be looked into. So, Pete, as you mentioned, if there were to be a 2-2 split on the State Board of Canvassers, it would then go to the Michigan Supreme Court to determine what their response would be, what their order would be. If they didn't have an order that it be certified, well, now we have a constitutional crisis in the state of Michigan that's never occurred before, because as the federal constitution says, this is left up to the state legislatures.
Yeah.
The state legislature decided long ago to do it this way. So if this way doesn't work, obviously now we have questions that have arisen in Michigan for the very first time in our state.
You're talking about tens of thousands of votes potentially on